You guys, this one's a little dark, so trigger warning. This information, though, comes from my deep research and my own understanding from the deepest, darkest places of my knowing. I'm told all of these stories of failure, a failed parent, a failed child, a failed home, a whole entire failed family, but this is a lie. What I'm witnessing is not failure. It's a highly efficient, vertically integrated industry. It has suppliers, a distribution network, and a renewable raw material, which is our children. And it begins with what I call the first pillar, the foundations. The Annie E. Casey Foundation, the Casey Family Programs, their names are all over it. They're on the studies, the reports, they write the best practices, and they fund the development of the software that states use to screen families. Software like the SDM, the Structured Decision-Making System, where they set the metrics for risk. A messy home becomes a high-risk environment and poverty becomes neglect. This creates the supply. Then comes the second pillar, the removal or the care apparatus. The same foundations pour millions into lobbying for policies that widen the net of child abuse. They fund the court-appointed special advocates and they train the family court judges. And where does the child go? It goes into a system that they also fund. The Casey Foundation, for instance, has invested millions in family preservation, services that often function as surveillance. And when those fail, the child enters foster care. They champion the expansion of group homes, facilities run by the large for-profit contractors like Sequel Youth and Family Services or Vivint Behavioral Health Care, which have documented histories of abuse but still receive per-day payments from the state for each child. The child is now the inventory. So then we reach my third pillar, the medical industrial complex. This is where the sacrament is consumed. A child in a group home is 300 to 400% more likely to be prescribed psychotropic medication. They are traumatized and they are acting out, but it's easier to sedate them than to soothe them. So we keep following the money, and the endowments of these charitable foundations are invested in massive index funds and holding companies. Those portfolios are thick with pharmaceutical giants. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, AbbVie, the very companies that manufacture the antipsychotics and mood stabilizers and the antidepressants that these children are prescribed. They also invest in the healthcare giants that manage Medicaid, the insurance that pays for these drugs. Companies like Centene, which owns a leading Medicaid managed care plan. They've faced lawsuits over denying care to boost profits. And the foundation endowments grow when the stock of these companies grow. The loop is closed. So to recap, they fund the software and the policy that identifies the product. They fund and influence the system that processes the product. They profit from the treatment the product is given. The family is not broken, it's disassembled, and the parent is not helped. They're pathologized and traumatized. The child is not healed. They're medicated into compliance, creating a lifelong consumer. And so, we see it for what it is. What operates behind the nonprofit veil is not mere corruption. It's theological inversion. It's a blood covenant where the suffering of the poor is the sacrament that consecrates absolute power. Foundations like Casey are not charities. They are ecclesiastical corporations. Their endowment is not a portfolio. It's a sacrificial treasury, and the required offering is the stability of the marginalized family. They perform a spiritual cannibalism. They take the raw living trauma of a separated child, the panic, the grief, the primal scream, and they transmute it into quarterly earnings. The child's terror becomes a data point that improves their predictive model, and the parent's despair becomes a compliant metric that justifies expanded services. This human agony is the host in their black mass. It is consumed, digested, and excreted as a positive return on their spreadsheet. It's an unholy trinity, not Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but foundation, foster care, and pharma. It's a self-perpetuating engine of profit fueled by one thing that we're supposed to protect, our children. The foster care system is a $30 billion per year pipeline. The psychotropic drug market for these children is worth billions more. The Medicaid managed care industry is worth over 100 million. This is not small-scale corruption. It's industrial-scale human harvesting. It's a closed financial loop where charity fuels investment and investment profits from the very suffering the charity claims to solve. I ask as a friend and a survivor, will the next bill shatter the Trinity, dismantle the financial covenant between the foundation, the group home, and the pharmaceutical company? Will it end the sacrament, or will it just rearrange the altar? When a child in a facility funded by their investment is prescribed a drug from their portfolio, that is their communion. The mind, the body, and the blood of the child is broken and distributed for the salvation of their endowment.